said in RS, RR1, and H, like commercial, highway commercial, blah, 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 blah. We can just use those, the one sentence that says on-site less than 5 megawatts is an accessory use. And leave the rest off. If the only place we want it is in rural preservation. So I guess I would look at this. The only reason I would think that maybe you would want it light commercial or highway commercial is if a business came in and they wanted to run off from solar, or they wanted to use solar backup, they might want something bigger.
Like a small scale data center. They're not always big. I mean, there's a lot of small ones. You know.
Oh, we've already crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
Data settings are up.
But that would be one of the contingencies.
Well, in the future, some of your businesses probably will do. But
Well,
besides,
so what I'm thinking of, isn't there an office in Clover, kitty corner, next to the Pepsi dealer that is solar? It's got solar panels all over the road. And I don't know this, but I mean, I'm just trying to bring it to your attention.
Well, like we have brought up before, if we leave them and we decide to make changes, then you're not.
It's easier to make changes to one or the other.
Okay, I'll leave it.
Yeah, I would leave it, just
Yeah.
that way we can make changes if we want to make changes to individual sections without having to rewrite.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll leave it. All right. I know what I gotta work on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further discussion on the solar ordinance?
And if they find things in the meantime before our next meeting, you can forward them to me and I'll definitely look into them and use them. Rob, I think that was a really good idea, trying to keep the other communities stuff in their own community and ours in our community.
Yes, I agree.
That's probably should be in the purpose, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Item number 9, camping ordinance. We have a camping ordinance here in front of
Was
us.
these put in here? Did I miss them?
No, I didn't put them in there because everybody was gonna look them over and add and take away what they thought Carl had wrote, if it was good or did you like it or your interpretation? I think I gave everybody a copy, right? Everybody got a copy of Carl's writing?
4/16/20.
No, he wrote it. He hand wrote it.
I don't have that.
Everybody,
What's
Well, wasn't there only a very specific scope of what needed to be added in terms of,
yes, we were
we were
talking,
just leaving out a specific type of property that we didn't speak to,
correct.
and all we really needed to do was make sure that type of property, I think it was residential developed.
Right. And Carl had some suggestions, and I thought he gave everybody a copy. I can make copies right now. We can just go through them. It's very short, sweet. And then I'll
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
get it together for an ordinance for the next meeting.
I know he read them out loud to us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought we took notes in here. I did what I-
While he was going so fast, and then I thought we were getting a copy, but I don't remember seeing it. Here I'm sitting quiet thinking maybe I just didn't do something I was supposed to do, but as long as you didn't.
This is really important though, because the amount of parcels that we're getting split up. There's a lot of campers. Using recreational
So,
property.
the copier went to
Which is
Dave,
good.
so it's gonna take a few minutes to wake up. So I'm just gonna start by reading them before you get it. So parking and occupying an RV on a residential single family property in the town of Saratoga. So currently what our ordinance says, you can only occupy on a parcel that has no dwelling, no. That's the very first verbiage
Right.
So the purpose, it says, the last sentence, this ordinance applies to undeveloped private lands in the town of Saratoga. Camping is prohibited on the town of Saratoga public properties. So undeveloped private lands, what we put that in there was because we knew people were trying to live in them. But what we're running into is now people want to have their family come and stay with them in the summer, or they want to park it in their backyards for the kids to sleep in. So we wanted to address that. So the first thing is an RV is allowed to be used as temporary human habitation with the following conditions. Number one, may not be used as a permanent residence. We all agree? Okay. Number two, no skirting, including hay bales, styrofoam, wood, etc.
Correct.
Okay. Must remain in roadworthy condition. No flat tires, walls and the roof intact. The hitch must remain on.
Correct.
Okay. Cannot have anything attached, such as a roof or a deck. Okay. Camping area must remain clean and orderly. Grass mowed, dead trees and brush kept clear. No garbage or junk stacked around or under camping unit. Okay. Must have current registration. No expired plates. Okay, do you want to discuss that, or are you all in agreement with that? Because if you got a camper parked on your own land and you're not using it, would it be registered, or is this only if they're using it?
I was taking that as if somebody was there using it.
Okay.
That's how I was hearing
It
it.
says an RV is allowed to be used as temporary human habitation with the following conditions, so I would say that was correct. And the sewage must be properly disposed of. Okay, so isn't that called gray water?
That's in our definition.
Sewer is black water.
Black water?
Black
So how
water.
about gray water and black water must be properly disposed of?
Okay.
That's number Q on page 3. That's
Honestly,
what-
almost everything you read is already in
It's already-
section 5 regulations, but we just need to make sure that we don't just limit those regulations to undeveloped private lands, that we include developed and undeveloped,
Right.
Privately owned.
basically on all private lands. That's why I was a little bit concerned why we were going into all those
Okay.
details, because we already have all those rules
And that's good.
in
I'm
our
glad you're-
campsite regulations.
Okay.
I mean, and even more so, I think
We
I was trying to nail every one of the ones that you just read off, and
Okay, it's done. I'm gonna bring them to you now, and
Yeah.
then you can pick them off.
I think we just need the verbiage of,
Yep, we did just get them all.
Mhm.
You're right, Adam, even the skirting and all that.
I think,
yeah, no,
and
we
there's,
went through pretty thoroughly when we wrote this.
And I remember Carl stating that he is not a master speller, so you're not supposed to be able to.
I might put something in the minutes. Oh, Carl.
Yeah.
We talked about the current registration, and I can't remember what we decided on it, but that was. We mandate that someone keeps a registration on a vehicle.
Yeah, but how do you do that? Because
How
you
do
have
you-
people that have cars in their yards that
How do you,
might have license plates but not registered.
Yeah, that's true.
we,
I mean,
we,
there's
did- we went
tons of
down,
that.
we went down that road one time, and I think that we decided to stay away from it, if I remember right. Where do you guys do it? I get where Carl's going when you have an old junky camper, and I know there's several on Evergreen just sitting there that haven't been,
They end up being used as
Registered.
storage.
they're not even that, they're just deteriorating,
They're just sitting.
and at least if you had a ordinance that said that they have to be registered, at least you would have, they wouldn't register them, and they would just have to get them out of there.
Right.
That goes on a different heading here, so.
Parking.
So maybe we should be looking at section 5 of our ordinance and stating that these apply to all campsites. And then just make a statement that says,
I think except for the ordinance applies to, like you said, all private property.
What
Yeah.
wouldn't apply?
Yeah, so it does, like you said in the purpose statement, section 2, front page.
Yep.
This ordinance applies to all private lands, comma, developed and undeveloped, so there can be no ambiguity there. You're clearly stating, they can't say, oh, well, we didn't know that was, we have a house, so we figured that we weren't subject to your camping ordinance. But this ordinance applies to all private lands, comma, developed and undeveloped, comma, in the town of Saratoga. If you put that statement there, and you leave camping is prohibited on town of Saratoga public properties, and then you just continue to read the ordinance, I think the vast majority of this is covered. I guess I don't know, Carl's not here to speak to it, but was he worried that specifically an RV being used? I mean, that's in.
A recreational vehicle is any type of, be it a camper, a tent camper, a travel trailer, or a motorhome. Those are all RVs.
Yeah, and I mean, it says, even on B, it says no person may make use of a permit or permit other people to use a recreational vehicle or other means of camping as a permanent means of human habitation. We've said this is temporary human habitation. Right. I just think it's already all in there.
Okay.
As long as we just add the fact that it applies to developed lands as well.
Well, and under the section 5 where it just says all campsites, would you want to put it all campsites and
including but not limited to?
Well, instead of saying campsites, what, all RVs, all recreational vehicles.
But we want them to follow these rules even if they set up a tent. We want them to follow these standards of cleanliness and disposal and property management, whether they camp in a tent, whether they camp in a pop-up, whether they camp in an RV, whether they camp in a...
So
I was thinking
when we say all campsites, do we want to say all campsites on undeveloped land and recreational vehicles on developed properties within the township of Saratoga? A, registration. 2, B, people may not. I mean, it covers covers both of them. Is that what we're trying to accomplish?
Well, we got on here, no mail service shall be rendered.
No, we're okay. So on the first page, the definition of camp means to place, pitch, or occupy camp facilities, including recreational vehicles, motorized campers, and park models defined by some. To live temporarily in a camp facility or outdoor. I mean, that camp is an inclusive category.
Camp facilities.
So
would be a camp facility.
But do we don't want park models to be included in that.
Park models has its own separate section. In addition to above, no more than, and then so.
And Greywater's already in there too.
Well, but we'd have to look at some of those other ones in there. If we're looking at somebody that's pulling campers to their house, we also have a maximum of 4 camping units beyond the 15 continuous camping days. Do you want your neighbor to have 4 big campers in their yard? I mean, I see where we need to distinguish.
15 days.
Right. But I mean, do we see where we may want to distinguish and where we can put them all together?
A park model is more permanent. And in here, it says a park model can be skirted and hitch removed and tied down to guard against high winds. So do we maybe, in addition to above, and then put a hyphen and say not to be utilized on a developed piece of property?
I'm not sure how we jump to park models.
Well, because you just...
No, I was talking on P up above park models.
Okay.
And I was saying
Oh,
if we want to distinguish between developed and undeveloped, that there is going to be a few different rules because we want 4 big campers pulling in on somebody's property and out living in it.
Only for 15
But no,
days.
yeah, I see 15 days.
So 2 weeks isn't out of the question. That could be.
Family.
And reunion.
yeah, family reunion, yeah.
I don't know if we need to separate all this out.
You don't, but we need to add that private property or home residence,
Well,
or that, a camper is allowed at a home residence or.
this applies to all property.
Yeah, the worry is that somebody with like I have a house on my property and I could say, this camping ordinance doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to my developed
Right,
residential private property. I can do whatever I want camping.
we'll just make it
All
all
properties.
properties.
Developed and undeveloped.
Okay,
Mhm.
which is in the,
The ordinance applies to private lands developed.
All
or-
private lands,
Yeah, that's simple.
developed.
comma, developed and undeveloped.
Yes, that's what
I
I
think
said.
that's all we need.
So,
But I do not agree. Because when we go to 5, we are addressing park models. Park models are a whole new set of rules, because park models, the idea of a park model is that it's not self-contained. It doesn't have its, water
Its own
source
water
or a holding tank. So, and we're stating that it must be skirted and hitches removed. So after park models, my suggestion would be not to be on developed land or something like that. I would put some verbiage in there, because you start putting a park model with a dwelling, you almost got 2 dwellings.
and 5.4 park model says in addition to above.
Yes,
So all park models have to follow everything above
Mhm.
as well?
yep,
Because,
There's a little
Because then they're-
but
contradiction.
it's contradictory.
Yeah.
right, because M says
Yeah,
they should be open perimeter, maintained, no skirting allowed.
Right,
right,
And
that's,
5.4B says park models may be skirted, hitches removed and tied down.
okay, so we should remove
Strike
that
B.
in addition to above.
No, I think, or strike B.
Well, we
No,
could-
they have to be tied down. Park model does.
but we could limit a park model to one address or one taxable parcel. So that you can't put one on the side of your house and have your in-laws living.
but you almost gotta put it somewhere that it's partially developed. You gotta have electricity, a sewer system and
Yeah,
water.
but you can't put it next to your house, is what I'm
Because
saying.
then
You have to have a
that's-
separate driveway, a separate address, a separate.
An improved lot, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, park models on an improved lot. That's in addition to above, strike that and put on an improved lot.
I like that. On and approved.
You
So
know,
then
Wait,
under
hold on.
definitions, we
No,
have
I
to
don't think approved is the right word,
What do we,
because we just want it to have utilities. We don't want it to have a dwelling.
Right, it's very hard, fine line there.
Yeah, because somebody will then use that as their home.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
You're bringing septic, water and electric. You're
I
so
wish I knew
close.
why.
Undeveloped lot.
Do we, so this ordinance is meant to allow park models.
Do we want
That's what I
to?
mean-
On an undeveloped lot, yes.
okay,
We do?
so we want people to be able to, this is a camping ordinance, right?
Right.
So we want people to be able to use park models for camping on undeveloped lots. And if
Yeah.
they choose to do that, they have to follow these specifications under 5.4.
Yes.
But it can't be year round.
Correct.
And it can't be on an existing lot with a resident.
So that's what,
That's what
so
an
that's what
undeveloped lot is.
Lorelai's trying to say is that, hey, even though we're adding the language of this ordinance applies to all private lands, developed and undeveloped. We're good with everything in the campsite section 5, but when it comes to the park models,
They're
You-
only allowed on undeveloped lot, allowed on undeveloped lots only.
yep, that's what we're trying to say.
Yep.
Okay.
And they have to be skirted, hitches removed. And
That's why they have different,
And then they have to
different
have,
standards
they
than
have to
other.
have a well and they have to have a septic.
That's what this is saying.
Yes.
And that's why it's distinctly different than the rest of the camping ordinance, because none of those other means of camping have those requirements. But all these other means of camping apply to both developed and undeveloped private lands.
So these are permanent structures that we're allowing, but we're not allowing year-round occupancy.
But then we have to change the definition of undeveloped land because it says they may only have electrical service.
Where does it say that?
The
Undeveloped?
definition of undeveloped land.
Page 2, middle of the page, last definition before section 5.
Oh, have utilities? Can we say
Yeah.
that?
Land that may have,
Utility service?
land that may have utilities,
Yep.
but no dwellings. But no,
Well, is septic considered a utility? No.
Yes.
yes,
Yes, it is.
water, septic and electric.
They're all
If you had city water, it would be a utility, but if you have a septic system, that's considered a utility.
A well would be a utility, right?
So land that may
So-
have utilities and accessory building, no dwelling.
So since we have separate pieces under park model, do we have to repeat the E from the campsite? All ingress and egress driveways must follow Town of Saratoga. Yada, yada, yada.
Can put it in there.
I
And
think
like-
that's a good idea.
There's no reason not
Do you
to.
know, just leave in addition to above?
Are we taking out in addition to above?
Or do we
Yes.
leave that?
Yes, we almost have to.
Because
Unless we-
of the one little skirting item?
Well, I
So
was
all
gonna
those
say,
other
maybe
things
we
are
should-
really important.
Maybe we should leave in addition to above, except
Yeah.
for M.
skirting.
In addition to above, exception
Okay.
M. And
Oh,
then you want undeveloped lands only.
M and
Undeveloped lot.
O.
J has to be
M-O,
J because they add deck.
They don't have to be attached to a park model, do they?
If it's a means of egress, I would say yes, but I don't know. That's not a dwelling, so. M, N, O.
M and O.
You're right, though, it doesn't, you wouldn't want it attached, Rob, you are correct. So that would apply.
And I think Gordy mentioned that they bolt on anyways and come off,
What's that?
part of their purpose,
The hitch,
the
Oh,
hitch.
the hitch.
oh, the hitch has to come off to level them, yeah.
Gonna be a heck of a sewer system with four, if you can put four park models on it. Think about how you're gonna hook up.
With the exception of M and O.
Well, now you brought up another point. How many park models are limited to one?
Well,
And
and the
already
thing
says
is
four.
that we have people that build detached garages on a vacant parcel of land and put septic and water and electricity because they have a bathroom.
Mhm.
So I guess, you know,
But to hook four park models for one septic, that's a challenge.
Can we also just, from a clerical standpoint, change 5.4 to 5.2? Because there isn't any 5.2 or 5.3.
Yeah.
you can do
You
that.
see, yeah, that's, I mean, it's minor, but the rest of this is all
Okay,
nicely sectioned and makes sense. And
I can bring it back next month with those changes. Carl had one other thing on here though. It says overnight stay is allowed at a business for 48 hours if RV is being repaired at that facility. We don't have,
Is that gonna
But
be a
that's-
problem?
I think you said that's like if they bring it to
If they
Green
brought it
Bay
to have fixed,
and they sleep in it overnight, it gets fixed the next day and they're on their way.
You don't even know that.
I mean, is it
we don't need to
necessary to
mention
have
it?
in there?
Okay,
I don't think so. We're not, they're not camping,
okay,
they're stranded.
The business.
You know, like if they're traveling and they break down, have to get it fixed overnight. We're not gonna make them sleep in a room.
I'll make these changes and bring it back.
Right, like, you guys park there all night.
Approve it like that.
So,
Awesome.
camping ordinance.
Future agenda item.
Yep.
And it'll be.
Sounds good. Item number 10, commercial outdoor storage guidelines, addition to zoning ordinance.
I have no idea what that is.
That was,
Yeah.
the one,
Ones where they can't have.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know what we called that. And that was the one you had to do homework on.
I thought I asked if there was anything on the agenda items that you wanted.
I call it commercial property requirements and I had no idea what storage, yeah.
that was
Okay.
for like the,
Yeah, you guys were gonna look things up and. I'll think of it, so. You said, you had additional no outdoor storage containers and behind the front line of the principal structure. You had, emergency maintenance allowed, like tire replacement and battery changes only. And then, I have a note. Planning Commission to collect more data, all members.
Everybody submit or put all their submissions. forward.
I thought we were coming up with a statement to just put in there, that's what
Properties with approved conditional use.
Yeah, so
It's specific to self-storage.
Facilities only. Create guidelines and ensure clean and orderly storage of certain vehicles and equipment.
That was for what we approved last time, for the folks to have camper storage or semi-storage behind your facility.
It started with them.
So it started with them, and then we decided we needed to have an addition to our zoning ordinance that made sure we had some restrictions on it. That's where we're at.
So is it basically, so outside storage, so going forward? So if anybody wants to do outside storage going forward now, it's like, it has to be behind the front line. So
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be like pretty much out of sight, out of mind.
Correct.
So,
Behind the front line of the principal structure is what we have wrote down.
okay, so that they can't see it and stuff like that. So mine is like way in the back,
Right.
you can't even see it, and I've got two more of the big RV buildings to build, so once those two big monsters go up, you're not gonna see anything,
That's what we
you
like.
know? So,
That's what we like, yeah.
For that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's ideal, right? You don't
Yeah.
want.
That's like,
So do we want to put just the verbiage behind the front line of the principal structure? Or do we want to put behind the visible line of the rear structure? I mean, I don't know. Because if it's behind the front line of the principal structure, that'd be.
And that's in our, that's in our.
That'd be like in
zoning
the
ordinance,
parking
right?
lot. It's the front.
That was additional verbiage. That was one of the additional bullet points that was talked about for doing this.
Mhm.
We haven't added any of that yet, but
but then you also gotta look at every other business, you know, because like every other business has got their trucks and.
but that's
But
their
that's-
that's their
That's their business.
they're not charging someone to park their stuff there. That's their own equipment, operational stuff.
Their sales.
I don't think we're gonna go as far as forcing them to put their stuff behind
Right.
but
No.
if you're gonna lease outdoor space for storage of these things,
Yeah.
that needs to be towards the rear of the property, not on the front lines.
Yeah.
What the point she's making is, and we brought this up in our highway commercial frontage, is that we don't really want a whole bunch of equipment parked in front of the buildings, that
Right.
there should be adequate room behind for dumpsters.
Sure, I mean, that's a
I
fair
don't-
comment,
yeah,
but that's
yeah,
not,
that's
that's
not-
off
not the
topic
intent
for
of
sure.
this.
Right.
Right.
And I know that you guys want Highway 13 corridor to look nice and, you know, appealing and everything else. I'm just shocked that I drive down Highway 13 and there's a house that's kind of across from Country Sports and there's a truck that's
It's,
That's under
upside
lit-
down and
that's
there's
under
a
litigation.
junkyard and
Yeah.
I'm like,
We don't
Yeah.
like it either, but the wheels of government work slow. So
I'm just like, okay.
I wonder if we could, since we have self-storage units as a conditional use in our 2 commercial zonings. If in that section, we could add a simple bullet that says, or if we, I mean, maybe we just put the language in there for additional guidelines for outdoor storage, and then we just put these bullets into the zoning or see addendum.
I like that. We could put it specific to self-storage facilities, right under the self-storage
Because
facility.
outdoor storage wouldn't be allowed for any other.
Right,
We're not going to allow any other business to do that. We like the idea of our self-storage people that have already have that conditional use approved. If they're good, if anyone's going to do outdoor storage on their sites, it's probably going to be them. It should be them. And with these guidelines in place to make sure it's not a crapshoot.
I do think that the behind the buildings, out of Frontline, because as you have new ones being built and they're planning to do it in stages, I could see like building 1, building 2, and now
Outdoor.
all outdoor stuff.
right.
And that's not what we want seen either. So I think we definitely have to be
Get better verbiage.
about the behind something, because I could see that happening, and not with the young guys here, but anybody coming in and you say, oh, we're going to do building 1, building 2. Oh, we've
Just
changed
kidding.
our plan.
It's a lot easier for us to
Can we
just.
do it like near the rear lot line? Can we do like a proximity?
Or we can say it just cannot be visible from the
From the main.
from the main.
Yeah, but then you got neighbors. who-
I don't know about the rear lot line, because in my situation, and I've got 28 acres. So I've got my 8 acres developed where my buildings are. And we just cleared
Additional.
but I did not go back to that last 10 acres.
And you're gonna have some lots that are shaped oddly and have
So
what's
if
the rear
you're
lot
saying I
line
have to go
versus.
back to my
But-
rear lot line, that's putting me way back
Right.
there. Financially, that would not be feasible for me to clear all that to my back lot line. So going to that rear lot line, in my situation, wouldn't work.
So I like the verbiage, not visible from the roadway, except that I'm thinking of these gentlemen that were just in here tonight. They're surrounded by residential. So if they put it on the rear, the residents are gonna have to look at it.
In their case, they're gonna have a tough time, once you can build all the buildings, you'd have.
And I'm just-
They don't
I'm
have
just
that
using that as an
contemplated in their, on their
example.
property.
Well,
They wouldn't be,
What if
it's,
Go ahead.
I just don't think that specific
Yeah.
development plan would be suitable for outdoor storage.
Well, and what if you put, the not visible from the front or whatever, and any residential properties abutting the
Need to be
business, there must be
A special setback.
a setback
Buffer.
or a buffer.
A visual buffer.
Screening,
A
yeah, some type of
screening
screening.
or, yeah, like
A visual.
vegetative buffer or something.
Visual.
Something that
Yeah,
would block it.
okay. Got any verbiage for me?
Minimum, well, I'm kind of thinking that the combination of not, outdoor storage area must not be visible from
Roadway?
roadway. I think that's fair. And additionally must
Must be
include a
screened.
setback of, do we have a number in mind? I don't know what our,
I don't know that I would use the word setback, because they could set it back, and if they have no vegetation there, you can still see.
I was gonna include
Oh, a mountain.
in addition to a visual screen. I mean,
I think we'd have to follow the setback that's in our ordinance, and then.
It could be a contingency that has to be approved. Whatever they come up with or whatever, so that they'd have to come to the board with their plan and we would have to.
Yeah, but we have to have something in writing, Rob.
Yeah,
We don't want it to be
That's where we're
arbitrary.
going, though.
Yeah. Because we don't want 10 feet for this guy because we know he's a slob.
well, if they were gonna build a building at the back of there, what's the rear lot line setback for a building?
10,
All over the place.
Yeah. Well, no, wait, these are only allowed in
Commercial.
commercial. So
Okay.
let me go there first.
Cause I think if we just have the outdoor storage area be bound by the same setbacks and include a visual screen, we're good. They can't go closer to the lot line than anybody could build a building. And they have to have a visual screen,
On any
to,
residential.
on all lot lines. Yeah, I mean, like, cause if they're off to the side, they're still not visible from the front. And they don't have a visual screen to the neighboring property, like, I think that's fair. You don't want somebody, if there's 4 houses behind a property and they all gotta look at this junkyard, I mean, that's what this could become.
So
We're gonna
the,
avoid
They wouldn't
the
appreciate that we allowed that.
Well, yeah, or even if it's not a junkyard, but all these campers. know
Even
what's
then,
on your back-
and the activity,
backyard.
people coming and going to their stuff and.
So-
25 feet.
it's 25 feet for a principal building, 12 feet for an accessory building. These are rear. Sides are to a neighboring residential property, 20 feet. Accessory building is 15 feet.
I think for this specific use, I think 25-foot setback is totally reasonable
I
with a
agree.
visual screen.
I agree.
So I think you just put it in there like that. They don't need to park anything closer than 25 feet to the edge of the lot line, and they need to have a visual screen. I don't know how, I mean, maybe this will be super prevalent. Maybe there'll be a lot of this, maybe there won't be, but
But at least we have something.
Right?
It's just-
Okay, so you're saying 25 feet. So where my side lot line is, that's all trees right there, because like
Okay.
there's a pretend evergreen, you know how evergreen
Mhm.
is, that there's a pretend evergreen? Because I had to pretend that there's a road that's gonna go through
Yep.
Yep.
my parcel there
you'd create setbacks or whatever.
of evergreen there. So we lot cleared to the lot line there and stuff. And we were planning on coming up to that lot line to parking RVs there, campers and stuff. So you're saying I can't park to my lot line there?
I think a setback would be appropriate.
I do too.
Yeah, and with our zoning, there is a setback to what, if you were putting up a
Yeah.
fence or a fence.
You're not putting any fence or anything there.
But you got trees. That's a visual
That's all right.
screen.
Well, that's.
There's all trees there.
Yeah, it's visual screening.
That's
And
all
there's-
still there.
Nobody there.
You're saying
Right.
there's trees on the neighbor's property, but you've cleared yours to the lot line.
Yeah.
You're saying,
They're back
and you were
again.
open to park stuff
They're
right tight to the lot line with no visual screen. So that's, that right there is what we're trying to avoid.
That's what we're trying to avoid.
And in your specific case, there's nobody living there. But if
Correct.
we don't set these rules,
And
somebody will do it where there's 4 or 5 neighbors there, and it'll become a pain. We'll get a bunch of complaints. We really will.
I think that.
You never used to allow this kind of stuff, and now you specifically said you can do it, and you didn't. I don't know. We would hear about it for all the things people complain about.
Under landscaping and our site plan review with landscaping, it says here, buffer, that you need to buffer uncomplimentary land uses.
Yeah,
So,
but it might be uncomplimentary to you, but to me, I think it looks pretty great. So there you go. It's arbitrary. You need something. Sorry.
Is that a,
yeah, I'm reading it right out of here.
You need black and white. I'm sorry, Rob.
Yep.
Yeah.
what's that?
Well-
Commercial ordinance?
Yeah,
So it's in our own
This is-
zoning that says
that you have to have a buffer.
But so not visible from the roadway, it must be 25 feet from neighboring lot line with visual screening.
I think it's reasonable.
yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable either.
do you?
I just cut down all the trees.
Yeah, because we already told her she could go ahead with it.
Yeah, I just cut down all the trees.
And the ordinance wasn't created at the time.
Well, that's a roadway though.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean,
still got
next to
10
roadway.
acres behind that, not just off.
I'm on my side lot
Side
line.
You're on your side lot.
I'm on my side lot line.
Yeah,
When you said
this
it's a
is-
road,
You did it before we put this into effect, so.
Uh-huh.
I'm not coming to your property with a citation.
We can't. It's-
I just
Well, because I also think of
I'd like to
like
see
what
other
Steve's
people do
coming
it
now, they
a
have
certain way.
storage and there's, you can see all of that.
mhm.
You can see all of it from the
regardless
road.
of,
You know what I mean? So that was done pre this ordinance too.
lining lines and
But
storage
his
and stuff.
storage is his
No,
stuff.
it's not.
No, it's not.
He's camper.
There's a-
I
there's
guess
campers
I
there.
didn't
Still,
realize
yeah,
that.
he still has outdoor storage, and
Yeah.
from the pictures I just looked on Landviewer, I mean, this is before the purchase of the property, but their campers are backed right up to the trees.
Who are we
They're not-
talking about?
Yeah.
What's Steve's
Steve
plumbing?
Wilkins.
Plumbing. Or Carl
Lake Country.
takes
So
care of the
what's-
campers.
Oh,
They're
you-
taking-
Lake Country doesn't have
Okay.
campers 25 feet from the lot line, basically.
okay.
But that's,
But we're
again,
not,
that was their business.
That was
Yeah.
their,
That was their
there,
business.
there's
But there's still
storage is
there.
part of their business.
They have tons of campers there.
I guess what I'm saying is no matter if there's a road going through there or not, regardless of if it's there or not, the lot line is there. We know where the lot line is. So that's where you gotta stay away from. Now, in her case,
It was a-
we cannot enforce it because we did not have this ordinance in place.
Right.
And we did review your site plan and it was okay. But going forward,
Yeah.
this is how we are going to
Okay.
handle it.
And
So,
we
I'm
bring
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
There was 4 campers.
I'm sorry.
We also have to remember when we're talking
But
about.
you guys-
Lake
you guys-
County,
You're talking about camping companies that aren't, those,
Right.
they're not self-storage conditional
That's
use
what I was just gonna
properties.
say. We
We're
have to
making
look at what
rules-
we're doing.
But they're not a camping company anymore.
But they're not a
That's Steve's
self-storage either.
yeah,
Well,
they
yeah,
are.
They
Yeah,
have self-storage on
plumbing.
there.
There's storage there.
The plumbing place?
Yeah,
That's just-
they bought the storage
Maybe
business.
I'm looking at the wrong side then.
There's storage buildings on the
And
north.
and they are a camping
west
place because they do camper repairs there. Because that's where Carl works.
They do camper repairs, they sell them.
I
I
don't
get
know,
it. Must
but
be
I know they
thinking
do the
wrong.
repairs.
They're on the left.
Steve's plumbing.
Yeah.
If you go towards-
Because that's where Carl works.
This one's
The other
green.
When it was late.
That's what he does.
But I think what we need to get focused
When it
back
was
on
like
is
Country
that,
Club, but it's not there.
What-
Mobile.
guys, what we need to get focused back on is what we're putting in the ordinance under storage unit facilities. We're
Going
not
forward.
talking about all those other places. We're
Right.
talking about storage unit facilities.
Self-storage facilities.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is what we need to stay focused on in
Yes.
regards to what we need to have
Yes.
for verbiage.
And we're looking at outdoor storage.
Yes.
Outdoor storage.
So we
yes.
just put a lot line, it has to be within the lot lines and
Yeah.
it has to be visually
Screens,
screened.
Visually screened.
whether that's natural vegetation or whether that's some kind of fence.
And are we agreeing that it is 25 feet from the lot?
Yes, we got that in here. Not visible from roadway and must be 25 feet from neighboring lot line with visual screening.
Okay, so moving forward, any ones that come to us that want this is their thing. We can't do anything about everybody else that is already established, so we just like keep that out of the conversation.
So when you say visually screening, that's
Arbitrary.
arbitrary
You-
also.
but you're
It should
saying-
have to be approved by,
Do you want trees or do you want fences?
no, I think they should bring it in and show us what they're gonna do, maybe.
Okay, so visual screening as approved by plan commission and town board. As approved by,
By town.
as approved by town. There you go.
We can take it case by case then, and someone hasn't put up a screen fence and have a neighbor complain and go,
Right.
I don't wanna look at the back of your screened fence,
No.
cause it's really,
People can-
it's really crappy looking. We're just protecting the residents surrounding.
So we have to put that in there and then
Yep,
it should come.
I'll have it for the next meeting.
Okay.
Better get back on my minutes here.
But I'm good going forward.
Yes.
Not going forward.
No, I'm good.
You're
With
good
those
with what
approved.
you
I'm
currently,
good.
Done so
what you are
far.
currently okay for. If you're adding another one, these rules are going to apply to you.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you got approved last month is good.
Good.
Making an additional one coming to us again, this is gonna apply.
And then what are you doing with the requirements?
Those are going into the zoning ordinance. And they will go in at the end of the year like all the other changes that we
Oh,
make.
that's what, because that's what I thought John was this, and that's the requirements of those things on there.
Where'd you get that?
Last
Look at
week,
those.
last time.
Last.
The
From
last
last
time, yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
but we
you
needed
said-
to polish it up. We needed to
Yeah.
decide how we're gonna implement it. We've decided that this is some additional language that's gonna go in, and we're going to add it to the zoning ordinance
in-
during that time.
Yep, and.
But-
you're-
But in the meantime, it's officially being enacted, right? I mean,
Right.
If
we
you
just-
guys I'll bring it back. Next month, you guys look at it. If you think it's what we need to put in the ordinance, it goes to the board and the board said, yep, I think so too. And then it goes in there.
Yep.
And it's effective that day.
That's
Okay.
what we want.
All right. Our agendas for next month is filling up fast, isn't it?
We're gonna have to have 2 meetings, one, catch up.
Item number 11. Town building update.
Let's make it fast.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. We're in the process of doing a geotechnical report. And if anybody wants to know what that is, it's borings around the perimeter of the new building so that they can test to see if there's any contaminated soils. We had the county come out and check to see what those tanks were that are buried. The first one is sewer holding tank. The second one is a drywall. The third one is a drywall. And both of those two drywalls are illegal. The drains the trench drains that are in the building ran into a sump pit. The sump pit eventually became inoperable. So in our infinite wisdom, we put two pieces of pipe together and drained them out to the ground in the back. So that's where we are moving forward.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
That's why you need a new one.
Yep, and then
Well, we knew we needed it.
yeah. So we are moving forward. The intent is to the day after election to start remodeling the town hall, and then in the spring tear down the public works building and build a public works building. At this point, we're looking at a couple $100,000 for all of the submittals and the reports and where we are. We haven't paid out near that at this point. Anything that is over, I can't remember, we will come back and tell you how much it is. I know there's a limit of what we can do without coming to you guys. The geotechnical report is coming in. The highest one I got is 5,000. So I'm getting different companies to bid it. So if the geotechnical report comes back clean or within limits, then we don't have to send it to the DNR for remediation. So we're kind of crossing our fingers on that. And that's kind of where we are.
All right. Any questions? No. Sounds good. Item number 12, manufactured mobile home ordinance review.
That's at the attorney's.
Okay.
She went on vacation, so she did not get to it, but she emailed me today and she said she'll have it to me tomorrow and I will bring it back for your review. Basically, the new ordinance is in place, guiding new dwellings in the town of Saratoga.
Oh, right.
However, it just needed to be reworded and put together good. And so she's working on that. I have had approximately 12 phone calls about, do we allow mobile homes and that type of thing. So I have referred them to a new ordinance.
So we'll look at that
Next month,
after.
I'll bring it back.
Okay.
Hopefully when I bring things back, they'll be short and sweet because you guys have already give your input and you can just review of what your input was.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one I didn't know what it was. The next one.
Environmental protection ordinance discussion.
Pretty much what we've been talking about.
Yeah, I think there had been confusion about, we were talking, battery storage ordinance, and then I had brought up how we could get that in because of our groundwater, and at first then we said, okay, we'll call it an environmental protection
Yep.
ordinance, and then I think it's
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
I think it's the same thing, we were just calling it two different things. So we can cross that off the list.
All right. And I left it on the list, mainly because I wasn't part of
So the
last month's, and I didn't wanna miss it. So I didn't want it to fall off our
Okay.
list of stuff and not get addressed.
Colette asked me what to put in there. I said, call Christie.
Oh, she didn't?
Okay, so
I
13 is
did.
taken care of with
That's
the,
okay.
with the battery storage ordinance and
Yes,
all that.
yeah, we were just calling it different things throughout.
All right. Item 14, informational announcements from planning commission members. Patty?
Just with the gentlemen that were in here and their plan, does Ramsden have the same thing across the street with his, like, a buffer along 13 and what he's doing? Did we
I
ever
don't
see
remember
that?
A long time ago, we had.
He
the plan.
came in with a site plan.
Yeah.
He did have a.
Yeah.
It expired, so.
Just to give you an update, he did resend all of his plans to the state, and the state came back saying he needed more information because the code changed.
Okay.
So at this point, all he can do is put in the foundation for this building.
Great.
And he asked for 5 storage units based on the fact that he was going to need a place to put his concrete tools. He's all done with his concrete. There should be no need for those at this.
And there is only one there, right?
Yeah, well, there's one out in front and there's one way in the back.
But he's done with the
Would
concrete work.
be,
I think he's gonna use that as a storage place for
and then there's another one, looks like possibly a construction trailer.
I seen the trailer and the one
Yeah.
storage
You know,
container.
there's one right up by the road with the dumpster next to it. But then today there was one way in the back where the driveway is.
But I believe he told us he needed them for his striker, for his
For all his
vibrator, for
equipment,
his,
yeah,
for
We
the
ran
concrete
it up
work.
to
But,
5.
yeah, but we're,
Or you guys or somebody,
we were good.
member,
Yeah.
plan commission or whatever.
until
Yeah.
that first
Until the
building is done.
Yes,
And
They're
not to
allowed
exceed
until-
his 2-year permit.
until he can
Yeah.
store everything
Inside.
In a
inside.
unit.
Yes.
Now, to that, now, like you said, it expired now, so does he still have a green space plan?
Well, that's,
Well, that's what I was just
that's,
wondering, because
that's that.
That
what this
wasn't-
looks like they're doing across the street looks really nice, but what is he gonna do?
Right.
That we did have plans for that.
There's
Way
still
back before you joined, like,
Yeah,
I was
and
only
I
here
think-
maybe a couple
I think we
months.
should request what his site plan's gonna look
We
like.
got that. I think we got that originally, and they're on my desk.
But didn't it then
But then his
expire
plan
with
is-
everything else?
The building permit's expired, so all he has to do is bring the buildings back up to code. And that's, so what changed basically was the HVAC, the insulation.